Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, the Most High God, and Yahushai is the Son of the living power, the Messiah, which these are the true names of the Most High and His only begotten Son, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, and Lashon Kodash, which means holy language, or you could say holy tongue. We want to give double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings unto the elect, and salute and shalom to the fellow laborers of this truth. Again, all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Right, first I want to say, Lord willing, this video is edifying. The highlight of this lesson is basically going to be concerning the manifestation, or the appearing, but not even the manifestation, but the adoption, if you will. It's going to be the change of the elect, because we have a change coming. In fact, let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians. And forgive me if I sound weird, just my nose a little stuffy. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, for we know that if our earthly for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle, which is this body, that earthly house is this body, this flesh that we have. It says that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, meaning if this body were to be destroyed, were to, die, it says we have a building of God, right? So those of us, Lord willing, we part of the elect, but the elect will receive new bodies, and that's my expectation. Those of us that's in this truth, and seeking to do the will of the Lord, we're going to receive a body, man, an immortal and incorruptible body, where death will not have power or authority over that body, man, nor wickedness, because the flesh that we have now is sinful. This flesh that we have now is sinful, bringing forth fruit unto death, right? Bringing forth or doing works, doing things that brings death. This is sinful flesh. So it's no perfection in his body. It says we have a building of God, in house not made with hands, internal in the heavens. Right, so the elect is going to receive immortal and incorruptible bodies, which shall never die, which shall never be dissolved, if you will, be destroyed. Why? Because those new bodies that the elect will receive, and this is all part of the gospel. This is the hope that the elect will have. Right, it tells you in the book of 1 John, if I'm not mistaken, chapter 3, that every man that hath this hope purifieth himself, right? That hope to be adopted, that hope to be, to be changed and saved and healed, to be redeemed. This is part of that hope, right? But continue on. Those new bodies that the elect will receive will be immortal, which means not subject to death, which is the opposite to this body. This body is subject to death, When I say this body, I'm talking about all flesh on this earth. Mortal is mortal. It's corruptible. It's perishing. It's a limit to the flesh. And why is that? Why is this flesh mortal? It's because it's sinful. It tell you in the book of Romans, if I'm not mistaken, death reigned from death reigned from Adam onto Moses all the way to this day. Why? Because what Adam did, he ate the fruit and knew what, the Lord made him to be a mortal man. Dust you came from dust, and dust you shall return. So the Lord made Adam a mortal man, so all his other seeds as well, all his other descendants as well, which all nations on this earth came from Adam. That's why man is mortal. Right? But there's a change coming for the elect. Immortality and incorruption. Which when you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, it tell you the sting of death is sin. So in those new bodies that the elect will receive, they will never sin. Those new bodies that the elect will receive will be programmed, if you will, to never sin, to never incline to evil, to never go off, if you will. So therefore, death will not reign in that body. In fact, let's continue reading. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1. It says, we have a building of God. See, we have, if we part of the elect, and that's our hope. Lord willing, we part of the elect. No, it says we have a building of God. So if we continue doing what we're doing, and we, part of that number, we're going to receive another body, man. And we're going to receive everlasting life, immortality. It says, in house not made with hand, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. And yet those of us that's in this truth, we're groaning. We're groaning because infirmities, because our weaknesses, because of this mortal body. It tell you in the book of Romans that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth together until now. Is why is that? Because sicknesses, weaknesses, infirmities, ailments, wickedness, evil, sin, all that shit reign in the body. All that shit come from the body, man. Or it comes with the body, if you will. This body that we have now. And we need really, if you really, really believe in this thing, you should hope for a new body, man. It says, for in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. And really, when you really think about it, when Yahweh Shai come back, which this is prophecy, when Yahweh Shai come back, he's going to resurrect the dead that are part of the elect. And he's going to change the elect. He's going to change us. He's going to give us, or he's going to change us from this mortal body, this corruptible body, to an immortal and incorruptible body, whether physically and ethically, That's why it says in the book of Malachi, if you will, chapter 4, it tell you that the Son of Righteousness shall come with healing in his wings. What's part of that healing? What? Us being changed. Us being delivered or freed from this bondage of corruption, from this mortal and corruptible physically and ethically body, man. That's part of that healing, man. So when Yahweh Shai come back, he's going to deliver us from this captivity, from this body as well. You know? I had a thought in my mind, Salakia. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, nah. Let me just continue reading. If it comes to my mind, I'm going to bring it out. Verse 2, it says, "For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed with our house, which is from heaven." Oh, yeah, I was thinking about this. When you think about it, when Yahweh Shai comes back, and we, the dead is resurrected, right? The dead that are in Mashiach, and we that are alive, that are in Mashiach, are going to be changed and also delivered from this captivity and from the coming destruction and from this flesh. We're going to be in the heavens. It tell you in the book of 1st or 2nd Thessalonians, Paul told us, Paul prophesied that the elect will be caught up together with the Lord in the heavens. Right, so we're going to meet the Lord in the sky, in the heavens, man, in the clouds. You know, and we're going to get, gathered by those chariots, by the angels, you know, which that's prophesied in the book of Matthew chapter 24, that Yahweh Shai shall send his angels to gather the elect from the four corners of the earth. So we're going to be caught up with the Lord, you know, in the clouds, in the sky, in the heavens, which heaven really means sky, if you will. Right? So, you know, and why I said this is because Hebrews, it speaks about a rest, or resting, you know, entering into that rest, which really, when you really think about it, that, you know, the first time we enter into that rest, that, you know, Hebrews speak about, I think Paul spoke about, is when we caught up together with the Lord. That's when we are going to be in that rest. You know, that resting, man. Really, that's the kingdom of heaven up there. Because it tell you in the book of Revelation, John the Revelator even said that, you know, he saw the holy city, you know, the holy city, New Jerusalem, which is Israel, the elect, coming down from heaven, coming down from God, out of heaven, meaning what? Out of the sky. It says, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So really, when you go into the book of Hebrews, I think chapter 4 or chapter 5, it speaks about that rest. That's really the start of that rest, is us being caught up together with the Lord, us being changed, us being altered to immortal and incorruptible, and being with the Lord in the sky, in the heavens, in the chariots, man. That's the beginning stages of that rest, man. So of course we're groaning in this body that we have now, because soon as we are born unto trouble, whether it's anxiety, worry, cares, concerns, depression, poverty, infirmities, sicknesses, diseases. You know, having a low nature. having, low nature, low emotions, just full of vanity and emptiness. That's what man is born onto as soon as he is born in his body, man. So of course we're groaning in his body, man. This is really, when you really think about this flesh that we have now, it's of low nature. It's of low nature. It's earthly. And that which is heavenly is much, much more greater than that which is earthly. Because we're not going to be subject to death in those new bodies. We're not going to be subject to poverty in those new bodies, man. We're not going to be subject to anxiety, worriness, depression, grief, sorrow, fear of death in those new bodies, man. We're not going to be subject to oppression in those new bodies. So of course we're groaning in this flesh right now, earnestly desiring that new body. Ultimately, we're earnestly desiring the coming of Yahushua. We're waiting and patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushua, because that's when we gonna be changed, man. Let's read again. It says, "For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house, with that immortal, incorruptible body." It says, "Which is from heaven, if so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan." So we that are in this flesh, that's in this truth, but still in this flesh, we do groan, being burdened. It says being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon. So we don't desire death. That's what it means to be unclothed. Meaning what? When you don't have no body, and your soul is without body, that's which the body represents being clothed upon. Whether it's mortal or immortal body, it's still a clothing, symbolically speaking. And your soul dwells in that clothing. So when Paul said we desire not to be unclothed, that's what it again says. It says being burdened, not for that we will be unclothed. So we don't want to be unclothed. We don't want to be dead, man. We don't want to be in this spirit world, man. Being dead, having no body, man. But we want immortal and incorruptible body, man. We want that new sinless body, man. That we may rest, man. Right? That we may rest. That's paradise. Of course, the kingdom of heaven on earth, or the kingdom of Yasha'Allah, the kingdom of Yahushua, is going to be paradise. But the start of all that is those new bodies, man. It's those new bodies, man. Paradise is going to be, part of that paradise is going to be in those new bodies, man. In those immortal, incorruptible bodies. That's part of that rest. It says, but clothed upon. So we desire to be clothed upon. It says that mortality means what? Subject to death. It says that mortality might be swallowed up of life. So this mortal flesh is going to be swallowed up of immortal life, man. This mortal flesh is going to be swallowed up by immortal flesh. It's going to be changed, man. We're going to be changed, man. We should desire that. Right? And I'm going to be getting into a couple of things as well. Let's go to the book of Numbers chapter 15. Right? Because when you go into it, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. When you go into it, Yeah, when you go into it, the reason why we have these fringes on, the reason why we wear these fringes throughout our generations is for a reminder. That's why the Lord Yahweh gave us this law, to wear the fringes throughout our generations with a blue ribbon at the end of the garment, that we may be reminded to keep the commandments. In fact, let's get that law real quick. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 37. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of the garments." And this is a commandment that's still to be done even in this day and age. So those of us that is truth, we ought to, get us, for those of us that don't have garments, we ought to get garments, man. If you don't have them, pray to get some. Pray to get some. Even if it's the least commandment, even if it's a basic commandment, it's still to be done. Right? I tell you in the New Testament, whosoever will not keep the least of these commandments shall be least in the kingdom. So if you don't keep the least of these commandments, of these laws, then you want to be least in the kingdom. But continue reading. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments." Now, if you can see fringes, it says, "Throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue." And if you can see, I had a ribbon of blue on it. Which why is this a commandment given to us? Why do we gotta wear fringes with a ribbon of blue? Why? This the reason why. It says verse 39. It says, "And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord." So this is a reminder. This law, these fringes are a reminder to what? To remember to keep all the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Let's continue reading. It says, "That ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own hearts, after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments and be holy unto your God." So and the reason why I brought this law out is to give you understanding. Right? Because the Lord understand, the frame that we have. The Lord understand the body that we have. Hey, did not the Lord create us, man? In fact, let's go to the book of let's hold that and go to the book of Romans. So the Lord understand that this flesh that we have now is sinful flesh. It's programmed or subject to vanity, if you will. Let's go to the book of Romans real quick, chapter 8. Romans chapter 8, verse 20. It says, "For the creature was made subject to vanity." Now it says, "For the creature was made subject to vanity," starting from Adam. Adam hearkened unto Eve and ate the fruit. Now, what is the fruit? The fruit was basically, it wasn't no literal fruit. It was philosophy. It was basically a thing where you know good and evil, and that's why this flesh is subject to vanity, because Adam hearkened unto Eve and ate the fruit. And because of Adam eating the fruit, that's why man is mortal. Why? Because after Adam ate the fruit, the Lord basically made Adam a mortal man, a corruptible man, if you will. Right? even after he ate the fruit, well, he was a man that knew good and evil, man. So after Adam, ate the fruit, he was what? Made subject to vanity, which is what? Mortality, and also, a being or a creature, that, that was able to sin, that was able to do evil, that was able to do evil, if you will. And that, that was the same thing, with his descendants, which is everybody on this earth. That's why we are made subject to vanity. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai understand, about this, have understanding about this flesh. Hey, there's no ending of the Lord's understanding. So that's why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai gave us this commandment to wear these fringes, because he understand that we are made subject to vanity, to mortality, to evil, man. Right, but in those new bodies, even though in the world to come in the kingdom, we're still gonna be wearing fringes. That's a fact. We're still gonna be wearing fringes in the world to come. But we really won't need them in the world to come, in the kingdom of Yasha Allah, in those immortal and incorruptible bodies. We really won't need we really won't need those new we really won't need these fringes. But even though we still gonna wear them, we won't need them. We won't need a reminder constantly on the border of our garments, man. Why? Because we're going to be perfect. We're going to be sinless, man. Right? And just to go into more of this body that we have now, let's go to the book of Romans real quick. Romans chapter 7, verse Romans chapter 7, verse 5. It says, for when we were in the flesh, which is this flesh, it says, the motions of sin, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. So, yeah, the motions of sin, did work in this flesh, in this body, that we may bring forth fruit unto death. But we are not, just to give you more understanding of what Paul is speaking about on here. He's basically speaking about, when we were under the law and us being sinful, where we did that which brought forth death. So therefore the body is dead because of sin. Right, but, believing Yahweh Shai and keeping the faith, we are under grace. So, and we are able to serve in newness of spirit, if you will. Where I just give you context of what Paul is speaking about in this chapter. Right, but just touch on this one part of the chapter. He's basically talking about just the sinfulness or the sinful nature of the flesh. Which that's still the case even to this day. This flesh has a sinful nature. It says to bring forth fruit unto death. So in this flesh, there's times where we bring forth fruit unto death. But we under grace, we are able to, even though we slip up, we are able to get up and start seeking the Lord, if you will. Let's get another scripture real quick. This is the book of Romans chapter 7, verse 14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin." So this flesh is carnal, it's sensual. It has a low and wicked nature to it. This is sinfulness is part of this body's nature, man. That's why we need to be what? We need to be healed. We need to be delivered. And really, that's why we have this law of wearing fringes. It's because we are carnal and we need a constant reminder to keep all the commandments of the Lord, to deny our flesh. But in the world to come, we really won't need this reminder. We really won't need this constant reminder. In the world to come, in those new bodies, we just gonna put on fringes just to put it on, just to keep the law. But we really won't need it, for that sense to remind us. Let's jump down to verse which I don't really need to touch on that. Let's go to the book of in fact, that's it on that. Could really close out on that. We'll end this video as edified. Double to the elder apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings unto the elect. And salute and shalom to the fellow laborers of this truth. And all praises and honor and glory be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Shalom.